game of football time here. Today's game is Saskatoon Trailblazers at Toronto Metropolitans. We're in week 21, getting to the close of the regular season here, and playoffs just around the corner. So Saskatoon is currently, as of week 20 standings, in third place at 9-9. Let's see. Vancouver, Calgary. So Vancouver actually beat Ottawa. Wow. Putting them at 9-10. So tied with Saskatoon. So Saskatoon, this is the race for third place in the West. So Saskatoon, I don't know about the tiebreaker, but you know, if they win today, they're guaranteed that spot. Although maybe not with Calgary. Did Calgary play? Yes, Calgary lost to Montreal. So Calgary's out. So it's really Vancouver, Saskatoon. If they tied, I'd have to look at the tiebreakers. But, you know, they want to get the win. They want to head into the playoffs on a winning note, too. So Toronto, on the other hand, tied with, as of week 20, tied with Quebec 10-8. So big game for them. They're not going to make second, but this is for the third playoff spot in the East. Quebec. Who do they play? Quebec. They're 10. Oh, actually, they play the last game of the regular season against Winnipeg. They play at home against Winnipeg. Winnipeg at 12-6, leading the West. Well, yeah, that'll be a tough one too. So some good games come up here. Okay, so let's get this. I'll move this over here. Make sure I'm in the view there. Okay, good. So Saskatoon, Toronto. Let's move that off for a second. Let's get the scores, or let's get the ratings up here. Sorry, I'm not as prepared as I usually am. Last second decision here this morning to do a game. I'm going to be late for work, but you know what? Football time's more important than work, okay? You got to really think about the important things in life. So let's just rip this game off here, and then I'll just beat on off to work. Okay, Saskatoon at Toronto. So Saskatoon, Toronto. Saskatoon F to A. It's an F. B to B and A to B. B to B is a C and A to B, so it's a C. And A to B is a B. Quarter 4, C to D is a C. And B to C is a B. So C, B. Toronto, C to C is a C. F to C is a D. C to C is a C, and D to C. D to C, D. Whoops. D to C. D to C is a D. Getting a little cross-eyed on the chart there. And last OT rating, D to D. D to D is D. You know, I keep putting down these OT ratings, and maybe I shouldn't even do it unless it goes into OT, because it does take it takes a fraction of it, of time to do it. But how many games have gone to OT? I'd have to go back and look. Not that many. So, all right, let's get started here. Quarter 1. All right, so got my dice handy, got my scoring chart handy. All right, so who gets the ball first here? Oh, you know what? Let's just look at Saskatoon and Toronto's last few games here. So in the West, Saskatoon, look at that. They've won 4 in a row. Yeah, good way to end the season. It'd be a great way to end it on 5 in a row. Toronto, let's see. They lost to Quebec last game, but previous to that, they'd won 3 in a row. So both teams doing all right. Big game, big last game of the season for both teams. All right, who gets the ball first? It's going to be Toronto. And kick off, and we're off. Ooh, down to the 9-minute mark, a long drive. That is Toronto C1. We're looking at an interception. Oh, horrible way to start. Horrible way to start for the Metropolitans. Here we go. Oh, look at that. 1 minute off the clock. Down to 8-minute mark. So Saskatoon goes from F to a D2. And it is a fumble. So both teams stumbling out of the gate here. Here the defenses are fired up and they're just playing some fantastic ball. So I'm going to move that down so you can actually see that. So we're looking at a down to 3-minute mark. Boy, some long drives here. 6 Toronto C6. That's a touchdown. That is a TD pass. All right, so Toronto, the first score of the game, up 7-0 on the Trailblazers, and 2 more minutes off the clock, down to 1 minute mark. Saskatoon again, F1, an interception. So a bit of a clumsy start for both teams, especially for Saskatoon, a fumble and interception. So we're probably going to go into quarter 2. Yes, we are. That's down to the 10-minute mark. This is Toronto. And we're into quarter 2. And I'll just mark up quarter 1 before I score that. So 7-0 Toronto after 1 quarter. All right. And we're looking at a Toronto second quarter at D. And they're going up to a C. That's a C4. And it's a field goal. So they both boost their leads to 10-0. Saskatoon, now they're out of that F rating, they're into a C rating. Oh, that's all right. Down to the 8-minute mark, C5, it's a field goal. Saskatoon is on the board, so 10-3. Only down by 1 score, so that's all good. Toronto, oh wow, 7. This is a quick, long throw into the end zone for a touchdown, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I'm not. Let's see, what is it? It's a Toronto is D6. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a field goal. D on the D scale scoring row. It's a 5 is a touchdown, so it's kind of opposite. But okay, so that's all right. Let me check to see where I end here. Right here. Okay, and so Saskatoon down by more than 1 score here. There we go. That's the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. Saskatoon with a C4. That's another field goal for Saskatoon. And let's move back over to Toronto possession. 4 minutes off the clock. That is down to the 1-minute mark. So the half is almost over. That is a Toronto D2. That's a fumble. But the quarter's almost, we got 1 minute left. The only way that Saskatoon can take advantage of this is if I roll a 1 on the time die, the white die. So we'll see what happens. Nope, the half ends. They can't take advantage of that fumble. We're going to go into Q3 here. And Saskatoon is going to start with the ball. But let's score this quarter. That's 6-6. So, Toronto Metropolitans 13, Saskatoon Trailblazers 6. They're down by 7 points. They're still well in this game. Let's quick look at the ratings here. Saskatoon has a B and a C, and Toronto C and a D. So Saskatoon does have the advantage, but that really doesn't mean anything when it comes down to Canadian football. All right, Saskatoon. 6 minutes off the clock, down to the 9-minute mark. That is a Saskatoon B4. B4. Field goal. Slowly but surely, Saskatoon has not scored a major yet. So, Toronto on the C rating. That's down to the 8-minute mark, and that is a quick possession because they have, that is a Toronto C2. Oh, it's a missed field goal. Missed field goal? Yep, that's it. No rouge there. Missed field goal, and Saskatoon. Let's see, they've scored 3, they're up 9, so 13-9, they're down by 4. Minute off the clock, down to the 7-minute mark. Saskatoon B5 TD pass. There you go. Saskatoon has taken the lead. 10 points in this quarter. It's up 16-13. Toronto, do you have a comeback here? 16-13. That's down to the 5-minute mark. Toronto with a C3. No, they have to punt it away. Saskatoon with a down the 2-minute mark. Saskatoon B1. Not good. Turnover. 6. That is a tight end fumble. And Toronto is going to take advantage. Are they? 4 minutes off the clock. We're into Q4 now. And we're looking at down the 13-minute mark of quarter 4. That's a 4. That's Toronto is in the D rating now, but because the fumble up to a C, that is a C4 field goal for 3 points. Let's score the third quarter here. Saskatoon with 10. Toronto with the missed field goal and a punt, nothing. So 16-13. And Toronto just scored a field goal. So it's 16. It's all tied up at 16-16. All right, we got a good one today. 16-16. Saskatchewan's ball with the C rating. 2 minutes off the clock, down the 11-minute mark. That is a C3. That's a punt. Nope, they got to punt it away. They're still all tied up. All right, Toronto, what do you got for us? You're on the D rating. 6 minutes, down to the 5-minute mark. A long drive for the Metropolitans. That is a D1, not good. Trying to get that winning score, and no, it's intercepted. Saskatchewan's defense coming up big. And, well, we might go to overtime. Depends on what I roll here. No. Oh, 4-minute drive down to the 1-minute mark. But, Saskatoon. Because of the interception, Saskatoon moves up to a B, but it's a B1, and that is a turnover. And I think we are going to overtime. That's a 5. That's a slot back fumble. And, yeah. It might not. If I roll a 1 on the time die, the game will still be on, so we'll see what happens. No, the game is over. We're going to overtime. For the first time in a long time, it's funny because I was just, beginning of the game talking about, I'm not even sure I should put those ratings down, but, and then I go into overtime for this game. But, okay, so let me get back on the screen here. We're going to overtime, and what were the overtime rules? Let me have a quick look here. Overtime, no coin toss. The team that started the first quarter starts OT. So Toronto starts. And roll on the overtime table. Roll on the overtime table. Only counts. Oh, okay. Only counts scoring results. Ignore all other results. Play 2 mini games. If no one scores, then a game. Okay, so it's just like this current CFL rules. We're going to play 2 mini games, and all we're doing is there's no time die because the way it works is the mini games. There's no time. You just play until you either score or you don't. So we're going to play. We're going to play the first mini game, and if someone is ahead, they win. If not, then we go to the second mini game. Same thing. If someone's ahead, they win. Otherwise, if there's no scoring after 2 mini games, it's just the game ends in a tie. So basically, it looks like Saskatoon has the B rating, Toronto has the D. Saskatoon has the advantage, but here we go. Toronto starts, and I'm just going to roll on the D chart here. And I roll a 4. And no, it's a missed field goal. So I'm going to put that down, actually. Missed field goal. So they had their chance to score there, and they could not. They missed it. I don't know how far it was, but that kicker is kicking himself. Okay, Saskatoon rolling on the B chart. And we're rolling a 4. And there you go, field goal 3. Saskatoon wins the game in overtime. So, sorry, let's score. Toronto scored 3 in the fourth quarter, and Saskatoon, no, nothing. So, yeah, we're going to mark down overtime. Wow. Haven't had an overtime game in a bit. But Saskatoon, takes it 3 on the road. So our final today is Saskatoon Trailblazers 19. Toronto Metropolitans 16. All right, good, great game. Okay, I gotta race off to work here, so I'm gonna mark up scores and yeah, great game today. Okay, thanks everyone.